Hello, this is Eduardo from Bricksmaven. This is part 28 of developing a one-page wellness spa website in Bricks. And in the previous video, we built the service section 2 and 3. And in this video, we'll be building the fourth section, which you see in front of you. We'll be adding it to the list. So in service, we'll have four sections in total. So in this specific one, we're going to have a sticky intro section which scrolls with the content, which scrolls with the page, and then we're going to have the cards on the left side which stack as you scroll down. And obviously we have a flower SVG on the bottom. So I'm not gonna prolong the intro very long. I'm just going to jump right in. So as you can see here, this was our previous service section that we made, and I'm just gonna create a new one. And I'm actually thinking at this moment, do I need a I need to create a component of this card. I think I already preluded to that in the first service video, that we need to create this component, so I think we should proceed and do that first. So component, and this is service card 2 component, and this is a card. Publish, and let's jump right in. I'm going to just drag in the pattern, which makes it just easier, and then I'm going to delete the whole pattern. And I'm not going to rename yet. I'm going to rename once I have re-imported the pattern on the pattern template or page, I would say, because as you see what happened with my first service card pattern, everything went wrong, stuff got renamed, and I lost a lot of work. So I'm going to do it differently now. So we need a feature here too. I think it's a feature 17 if I'm correct. I checked beforehand to make sure. So I need to scroll the way down. I need feature 17. What is this? Oh, showing me the wrong images, so that's not really helpful. So I need this one, but it's not displaying me the right image. Anyways, let's just bring it in. Okay. So as you can see, we have the intro up here, but also here. So I need to I'm going to grab this and bring it here and remove this heading. Take that away and bring this down and take this away. And I'm going to remove this, and also the container can go. What am I doing? It's like I'm already designing it. Wait, I'm here for the card. The card is what I'm here for. But this is the way it's supposed to work. As you see, it's sticky and it scrolls down. Okay, so what we're gonna do here is just grab this card. I'm gonna move it up, and I'm gonna delete the whole thing, and I'll bring it back later. So we're actually gonna be fixing this card up. And as you can see, we have an image on the left side, which is covering the whole card on the left side, and we have content on the right side, and the heading and the description text are actually in a element or wrapped in an element, and the link is actually pushed all the way down. So we're gonna have to use a space between, or this is going to be set to auto to push it down. Okay, so let's jump in. So we already have our link here, which is supposed to be find your, okay, I don't need that arrow, so this is find your treatment. I need to remove that underline. See an underline. Okay, we can take that away. Give it a text S. From what I can see, it has a dark color, so I think it's something like D8 or 6. Let's bring it down. Okay, something like this can work. And I'm going to actually set a auto here. So now it's being pushed down. So this is good. So let's see the card. It's a list. It doesn't have HTML tag. Should be set to list. Okay, this is good. Okay, the proportions are okay. Then it becomes stacked. Okay, let's just leave it for now like this. Let's go to our content. No, wait, it's split, right? Okay, no, we need to remove the spacing all around, and I need to remove the grid. No grid gap. And on the content, I'll add the spacing there. So we're adding the space on the content. So space M, maybe L, a bit more space. And I need to group these together. Well, you know what? I'm gonna just bring down the content gap here. Divide this by 2. Okay, so this is good. I need to bring down the font size because it's too large now. So this is a H, I think it's a H4. Perfect. I'm not going to add any content yet. I'm going to add a background color, so secondary 10 or 9. I think 10 is good, as light as possible. Let me scroll a little bit in. And you can see on hover it gets a drop shadow. So let me just pop in an image to see how this will look like. I already grabbed the images, so you can just add them immediately. So this will be the first one. Just pop that in. Let me see, deep tissue. Did I? No. Yeah, I copied it. Deep tissue massage. Just copying the text. I just put this in just to see how it'll end up looking. And I think the text is M. Okay, set to M. Okay, so we leave that. Okay. Media set to -1. Cool. Okay, the image, I need to set this to 1. And I need to remove the height. I already thought so. So this should just be 100%. Yeah, so basically, yeah. Wait, let me see. What is the height? I'll give it the height of the image. So it's 360. I'll say 360 by 360. So, or I can also leave it this way. Depending on the list it falls into, so that might determine the height of the image. But I obviously can give it a height to just okay. Just say 360. Let's say 360 pixels. Okay, then you get this to cut it off. So I'll just leave it at 100% for now. And does it have? Do we have a border or anything? No, no borders. And what color is this? This is this surprisingly it's black, and it's a text S, and it's set to uppercase. Okay. It's actually a darker color, so I'm going to make this darker. Maybe D9. Okay, so now I think it's safe to actually turn this into a component. Let me just add that drop shadow on hover first before we turn this into a component. So we need to first add a transition. So 0.4 seconds, ease, and hover. This should be a box shadow. The box shadow of TriXL. Okay, that is very strong. How about L? Okay, let's just put it this. Let's just leave it at that. Okay, I've saved. I'll call this. This should be service card 2. Like I said, I'm not styling anything yet. I'm just styling the main classes that I imported. So this is how it will look also on tablet, maybe on mobile here. Or maybe I can change the aspect ratio to 6:4, so it's a little bit, or even 16:19. Let's see how that looks like. No, okay, it cuts it a little bit off. Oh wait, that's 8. It's supposed to be 9. Okay, I like 6:4 better. 6:4. Okay. So we can turn this into a component. This is set to the card category, create, and there's just some certain things I need to add. This is just be props. I just create props for the heading, the text, the link, and the image. So you can swap the image. I don't think there's anything else that I want to do here. Obviously, I can add variants where you swap this, right? We put the image on the other side. Maybe you could have a stacked version, but that is not necessary. But if this was a component I was creating, I will add as much options as I can to it. So let's keep it really simple here. We're just going to add a heading prop. So this is heading, just default. Yeah, I don't necessarily need to add this to a group. This is good enough. Oh, of course, the link. We need to give the heading a link. Heading link, because we need to make the card clickable, obviously. So I'll just leave this as default. Add this separator is not necessary. Okay, basic text. Okay, I'll say description text. No link is needed. On the CTA, I want to change only the text, CTA text. The link will be added to the heading, so I don't actually need this custom URL. All this can go. Okay. What else? The image. I'll just say swap image, and the default should be this woman. Create. Nothing else. Okay. Connect, and we're basically done with this component. If I'm correct, here we have a heading link, CTA, swap image. Okay, so we can basically change everything here. This has to be secondary ultra dark, and this is secondary dark. Okay, we need to make some changes to the heading. So this is secondary ultra dark. Okay, ultra dark is a little bit too strong, so I'll put it at 9, and the text should be secondary, maybe like 7 or something. Okay, let me check this on the front. It's going to be like super huge. Okay, it would have been nice if I tweaked the shadow, but since I'm using two different I'm working on sometimes on a light green background and now a secondary background, I'm just going to leave the shadow as it is, so I'm not touching that unless I make separate variables for that specific shadow. I can make like a secondary box shadow. Maybe that would be an idea. So that's how I would do this. Okay, we're done here. Let us move on to the pattern. So this is pattern service 4. So we're now going to build the 4th service pattern. This is, I just call them service. Publish this, and let's start building. So I'm going to bring it in. Like I said, it's feature 17. So scroll the way down. all the way 18, 17. Okay, now see, it's showing me the right image. So now it's asking me the questions that it did before, and this time I'm going to reject them because I don't want no overlap. And you see it is already taken over the styling of the components, which I actually wanted. So that's a good thing, that's a good sign. So now I need to move these like I did before over here. I'm going to delete this, and did it have a button? Okay, it had a button. It was view all treatment, and the button was set to white. But before I do that, let me remove this container. I'll call this service 4. Save again. I will change the background to secondary color. On the sticky, I will make sure that the text is set to, I'll just say body white. The heading itself, well, the heading itself needs to be tweaked. So sticky heading, so this intro heading, okay. Well, it would have been easier if I just, by the way, this should be sticky. I'm going to copy this whole thing, and it did not change. There we go. So this should just be BM feature 17 and then heading. Since I don't have any heading yet, and this I'm going to change this to the white color because I don't want to affect my intro heading. I don't want to put any styling on it, so I changed it there. Okay, button should be, can take this off, can take any styling off on it, and this should be light and it should be large, and this is view all treatment. So view all treatment seems to our most requested. Okay, not sure what you need. Okay, let me scroll out, zoom out a little bit, pop in the info here too, and this seems to be, it seems to be a little bit larger. So here I'm also gonna add a class to the text. This will be the subheading. Let's say subheading, and this has to be a text L because it's a little bit bigger. There we go. And it actually has to be in a I need to wrap this because this is together. Just call this top, and also give it a class top. Obviously copy the heading too, remove this, and here I will add content gap, but then it needs to be divided by 2. Perfect. So now I can actually increase the content gap here. So instead of divided, this can be times 2 or 3. So this is a little bit lower, like on the design. See, it has a wider space, and you see it will have a wider gap, and the distribution of the spacing is also different because this is, okay, this is about the half. So this is about, let's say if this was like 4 columns, this would be 2, and this is like, wait, let me get the distribution correct. So this is the wrapper. I need to be on the wrapper. It's set to 2 grid 2. So this should be not grid 2. This should be grid. Is it 3-2? Let's try 3-2. How does that look? It's either 3-2 or 2-1. I think 2-1 might give the side a little bit more space. No, it doesn't. No, it should be 3-2 is good. It's a good distribution. And then we need to increase the gap by, like, I don't know, 6. It should be a very wide gap. It's almost, I would say, it's not the same. It's a little bit more, maybe times 8. think this works for us. Yeah. And as you can see, the first card is almost as high as the intersection card. And here we also have almost the same thing going on. So I think this size is pretty good. The shadow is quite strong though. Okay, but we have this. So let me just see how this looks once it on other breakpoints. Okay, we need to dial in the grid gap here. So I'm gonna set this back to 2. Okay, and we have the last card. Okay, so well, everything looks pretty good. Okay, I need to make a change here. I believe there's some spacing that's not supposed to be here. Some padding. Okay. Now I need to add the components. I don't need all these. So where my components at, that's service card 2. Bring it to the top and remove the rest. Delete, delete, delete. Okay, so we basically have the first one, and this is where we need to bring the magic. Let me duplicate them all. On my scroll, I want more space, so I want more space between the cards. ×2, maybe ×4. Okay, ×2. No, ×4. Okay, that's 1. Okay, the sticky works. Now I just need to set my cards to sticky 2. I'm gonna do that here on my card list. Let me see. Yeah. Okay, we have a shadow set. I'm gonna bring this down to M because it's quite strong. Anyways, I'll say this is starting on the card. This is card, and this will be the sticky. So say root. No, wait, I have to put it here. I already have styling for the root. Position, sticky, and then the inset block start should be set to, let's see, space Excel. Let's see what happens. Okay, there we go. Okay, so you see now where it's stacked. Okay, and it's automatically it overlaps. So now what I need to do is actually target the other cards. I'm going to use the end child to do that. So I'll say end child. This is the second one, and I'll also give this a inkset block start, but then I need to wrap this in a calc. So I want it to overlap like a staircase, right? So this is, I'll add plus, I'll add another X or maybe M or something. Let's see. Yeah, see, so it stays there. So if I say XL again, it will stack like that. I might actually add a 2XL, maybe to see the, by the way, how far does my spacing goes to 4XL? Okay, I can work with that. So if I say 4XL, 3, okay, this is nice, right? So you can still see the service, what kind of service it is. So we continue. We do that for the third one, but we cannot do that for the fourth one because that's basically the end. So wait, I mean the third one. So once we see, I can't even scroll. I have to add a new section under it. So for this one, I'll say, let me bring in I'll bring in a other pattern to put underneath so we can actually see how far it scrolls. So I think this is a good one to bring in. Let's bring in this. Oh wait, am I still in the, where am I? Okay, I was in the, it showed me that I was in the component. So you see it scrolls there. Okay, I need to set the scroll correctly. Service card. Okay. Wait, am I in the correct? Wait. I'm in the wrong card again. See, this how confusion starts. I was here on service card 1. Okay. So why does that keep on happening? Okay, so we have now. Wait, let me move this up. Move this. Put it here. Okay, so this is the second. This is the third. I don't see any difference though. Okay, so I'm gonna set this to 4. Okay, and I also set this to 4. Okay, see, and then it ends. So this is what we get. Scroll down, it ends here. So this is what we're gonna have. It stacks, and then it ends. Okay, I like it. So that is basically finished, right? I can choose to keep that stack in. So it's keep on stacking like this, or I think for this section, maybe I should change the orientation. Maybe I might set it to row instead of column. So it gets pretty small. It it's not that it looks bad or anything, but, or I might, wait, I can change the, I'm going to change the grid gap here to give it more space so that it doesn't feel too cramped. So instead of 8, I'll say 4, maybe even 2, right? So it scrolls down, still has a lot of breathing space. And then here I can just, it's back to, wait, it's already 2 here. Oh, it's already 2, so that means I can take this off. And we still have our stacking cards. And a mobile, obviously, it stacks. Okay, I like it, love it, I like it. We might also want to remove the hover on, so I'm gonna take this. By the way, the other stuff I could add, I could also add like a hover on the image scales. I think that'll be a nice addition. Let me just first fix this. I want this gone on the min. Yeah, it has to be on the 991 breakpoint. So we want this gone. And I need this because I want to add a transition on the image. So this is card list image. Okay, so go out, come back in, card list image. So we have the same transition, and then root over root. Yeah, and then scale 1.1, so we get this, and then I add a overflow hidden here, or wait, overflow clip. Oh, obviously I need to add that on the, you know what, I also add it on the, I'll add it on the card, but also I add this on the media. So you know what, I'll just add it here. No need to go all the way to all the way. Don't add a CSS, just add it here in the UI. That's done. So now this is what you get. So that means that on here it stops. See, there's no hover anymore. Because on mobile, well, the hover doesn't really have any value, right? Okay. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm gonna add the content in. So I'm just gonna skip ahead. So once I'm done, I will will continue. But that would basically be the end. So I'm just gonna add the content in right now. Okay. Okay, so now I've added all the content in, and I did some little tweaks here and there. I made the spacing smaller here. I added a hover to the background, so you see the color changes. I just wanted to give that to emphasize it a little more. You know, we have the box shadow, but we also have a background change. And on the lower breakpoints, I also shortened the gap because I found it a little bit too high. And on the mobile, I made it really small, as you can see. Furthermore, I also added made sure that the card is clickable, so we can see it on the front. You can hover over the whole card. You see the cursor. And I also added a focus within, which means you can tap through the cards, like so. See how it's responding? So you can actually tap to the cards. So we're now here, and also these cards, I also made changes here. They're also tabbable. You tap to them. So that's good for accessibility, obviously. So we're done with the service sections. We've created all the patterns for service, and we're going to look. I'm going to now look at our next. Oh wait, guys, wait. Just hold up. We are not done yet because I have not added my. Oh, by the way, I can remove this. Don't need this anymore. I have not added my SVG. So we need to add the SVG. And this SVG is the flower SVG. Oh, wait, okay, flower. Just say flower background. I almost forgot to add it, so I'm gonna just call this flower background. We can do this pretty quick. And after that, I need to rename all the layers because I've not done that yet. So this is the flower. Yes, this is it for the service. Add this in. Where is it showing here? And I need to give it like some kind of height. So I don't know what the height is. 1165. Okay, that's pretty large. 1165. And this is 1165. Let's say 1165 pixels. 1165 pixels. Okay, I'm gonna set this to position absolute. We're going to set this, give it a z index of -1. We're gonna say align to the right and somewhere to the bottom, and go to our service and set this to isolate, so we can actually see the thing. Okay, so it's showing me the whole SVG, so I need to move it out of the screen. That's right. So we need to do a calc here. So I'm gonna calc -1 times. Oh, wait, it's just sitting at the edge, right? So this is actually good. Wait, so is it being cut off? No. But I'm seeing more of it here. Wait, see it on the front. How does that look? Yeah, you see, so I need to move it. I need to still do calc. So calc -1 times var section space 2XL, just do the highest. Okay, maybe it's a bit too much. Excel. Yeah. And then I need to put this on the clip. I always forget that. I'm still getting it. It's not clipping. Doesn't want to clip. Wait, it's on the. Okay, it's being stubborn. Why is it not cutting? Hidden. If I set it to hidden, obviously the what's it called? This thing will stop working. The sticky. So I just need to leave the clip on. Okay, it's not clipping it for some weird reason. Okay, well then maybe I need to leave it to 0 then. Okay, if I set clip here, will it work? It doesn't seem to cut off. Okay, this is very strange. I'll just leave it as just leave it like this. At least there's no overflow. And let's see how it works on the breakpoints. It's just like super big. Okay, it scales down. Okay, so we've added it, so that's done. So we're done with this one, and we basically can move on. So I was about to show you what we're going to do next. So next one is this is why clients choose us section. So actually, yeah, a why choose us section. That's here. So this is a kind of like a tab. We're going to build like tabs. We're going to use the tab component elements in Bricks to build these. Obviously, I've already created pattern for these ones, and the same goes for this one. And eventually, as last, we'll do this one too. Okay, so that's what we'll be doing next. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and leave a comment behind. Let me know what you think, and I will definitely, I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.